Hey everybody, how's it going? Alright everybody, what's going on? Just getting a couple last things set up here before I get down. Start doing some painting. Alright, what's up everybody? How's it going? Welcome back. Just getting things started. Going to get back and do some... Oh, we're going to do some Grey Knights some more today. I've got some Astra Militarum. These guys are part of my new kill team that I'm putting together for 40k kill team. It's officially launches today, so super exciting. I got my copy right there. Fuck yeah! That fuck yeah was for Jeff. So yeah, super stoked that gonna go play that tonight, and gonna try to get these guys partially painted before it's time to go do that. So what do we got here? We've got this cool sniper dude that I kit bashed out of these Death Krieg Imperial Guard and Skiltari rifle, so I think he's going to be a pretty cool sniper. We've got a couple of plasma gun guys here. Some special weapons. And then just a normal laser gun dude. I don't really think I'm going to need him. For my official league list, he's not in that, but for right now, I went ahead and added him because I'm missing one of the guys from my league list. I'm doing an Inquisition-based list. So we've got Grey Knights. I've got the Deathcore Krieg guys that I'm gonna paint up in an Inquisition scheme, kind of make them like the Imperial Guardsmen that hang out with the Inquisition. And then we're gonna add a Deathwatch Heavy Gunner to this. So it's gonna be a cool little theme. I wanted to do this for 40k when I originally did 40k, but I never got around to it. I realized it wouldn't actually be probably that good of an army. Would just lose. But in Kill Team, that is quite the opposite. It actually will be a fairly good army and kind of fun to play. So let's switch over, start working on some of that here. So let's see, gonna start with the grays, which is gonna be his pants and his coat. Helmet and boots will all be black. Gonna have a little bit of silver on his chest. Do his little gas mask, I'll probably do like tan or something like that. Add some colors in the form of, like I'm going to do some red underneath on the inside of the coat. Maybe the cuffs red too. Give them a real Inquisition sort of feel. But to get started, I'm just going to do a bunch of dry brushing. I'm going to try some different techniques here, see if I can get these guys to come through a little bit faster than I normally do, but still look really good. So I'm going to start out with a little bit of Stone Golem Gray here by our friends over at Army Painter. Love their paints. And to that, looks like it actually got a little bit of... Just mix this up. I think I'm just going to leave it kind of dry like it is. Make myself a little more space here. Always gotta have some paper towel. Especially when you're doing dry brushing. So let's see this. Just want to highlight contrast. This resin actually looked pretty good until I painted it. I'm not as impressed. All we're going here is just... Wow. Apparently that glue didn't glue very well. Okay! To beast mode with my dry brushing, apparently. It's probably because I made the mistake of, should have done this the other way around. Try to be a little less mean with my dry brushing on the rest of these guys, apparently. Okay, number 2. Try not to be so rough, Tig. So anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to go through, dry brush these guys lightly this time. Not knock them off their bases. And then when we're done with that, we're going to go through and null oil all of them. And that's going to give us our basic look. Right now, we're just picking out all the ridges. And I think I'm actually going to go... I'm going to bring this dry brush all the way up to white, I think. Trying to get his collar in there, too. Schwann's Nike there, thank you for those hosts. Also, don't forget his pants down there. This guy doesn't have a lot of pants, so that's not bad. Yeah, when I originally saw these Deathcore Krieg guys, I was like, holy crap, that's totally Inquisition worthy. Imperial Guard. There we go. Okay, now we're going to switch that over to a little bit of Vallejo Dead White. And this we're just going to do a really small amount. Shuli, thank you for that host. And this... We're just gonna try to pick this out to make sure... Looks really good after we run the null oil on it. Alright, so that's just really simple. It took us like, what, 2 minutes? And then we're gonna take, we don't want the gloss Nuln Oil for this. We want this Nuln Oil. We want the one that's gonna stain. And I'm just gonna be pretty liberal with this. Really want this to come out nice and dark gray. We're just going to darken down all the gray we just did the highlights on. I haven't decided what color I'm going to do as shoulder pads yet, so I'm just going to leave those for now. Okay. I'll let that dry. Trying to think about what other colors I want while I'm here. I think I could change up the Nuln Oil a little bit. Maybe either thin it a little bit or use the gloss one after all. I don't know. Think about that while we're working on the rest of these. Not as dry as it needs to be. Trying to be nice and targeted and build this up in layers. It's a little easy to be overly aggressive on these guys. And just little bits of white. Try not to overdo this guy. Yes. White's a little bit wetter than I want it. Not sure what I like here. Alright, let's go ahead and try this guy with the Null Oil Gloss and see how he comes out. Today is a lot about experimentation. It definitely comes out to a nice dirty gray. Keep playing with it until we get it right. I want to just check one thing really quick. I'll be right there. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that everything was muted properly. This is my sniper conversion. In retrospect, I should have actually gone in and sanded some of his sleeve off there. But I didn't. That's alright. I don't think anybody but me will probably ever really notice it. I'm not loving this this dry brush. Let's try using something different. Which... Aha, that's the gray I want. Thinking maybe not putting the gray on the wet palette is probably a smarter thing to do here. Shows you how infrequently I dry brush anymore. Been really using different techniques, but I watched some videos that gave me an idea of trying to bring this back into my repertoire by actually practicing and doing it a little bit better, applying it in slightly different places. This guy's gonna be a cool sniper. Love it. And this white especially is super wet, so it's gonna be the same problem. Okay, we're gonna try each of these just slightly different until we get it the way I think it should look, and then I'll know for the future. So this time what I'm gonna do is take just a bit of lamium medium. And then a bit of this Nuln Oil and mix them together. And we'll see if we get something closer to what I want. Alright, let's try this. Yeah, I think I like this. I think I like this guy the best so far, so this is the best method. We'll see how he looks when he's dry. Like this guy, we'll have to clean this up a little bit. That's okay. He's got a little tear on the bottom of his coat, that's all. Smooth this guy out a little bit more. Alright, that worked. I like that. So we need a little bit more. Great. This guy already got a little bit, so just accidentally knocked him off his base in the process. Nope. This guy really doesn't want to stay on his base for some reason. So he's gonna have to just get thrown to the back of the line. I don't know what the hell his problem is, but we'll figure it out. Looks to me like it's the gravel that he's on is causing the problem. Interestingly enough, I don't need this guy, so if he wants to be a complete jerk, we can just skip him entirely. Okay, so then we'll move on to the next color on one of these guys instead. And I think what we're gonna do next, because it looks good, start making these guys pop a little bit. We're gonna do some dragon red. And we want a little bit of airbrush thinner in that. A little bit more. Alright, now we're gonna add in some red here. Make him look sufficiently inquisitorial. And just starting these off in nice, thin layers. Now I almost want this guy to fall off his base. It would actually be easier. just gonna make him all nice and fancy here. And I figure if they are intentionally pulling back these corners, you gotta make them look like a nice red or something. Make them pop out. Get hand on the inside of the edge of the cuff there. What else do we want red on this guy? I think we want the eagle on his helmet red too. Trying to decide if I want to do that red or silver. I know the box on his chest I'm going to do silver. The little rebreather box there. Alright, so cuffs inside of the jacket. Maybe that symbol, whatever this is on his collar here. Just need like one more little spot of red to tie them all together. I can actually fill in the spots right up against his body with Nuln Oil. Ended up catching his leg there anyway, that's alright. Just really taking time. Do lots of layers here. Try to make it look as nice as possible. It's just a little bit moist. The edges of those cuffs. Start thinking about what I want to paint this sniper rifle. Probably metallic along the top, metallic in there, and then wood for everything else, maybe? Kind of want to go old school. So these guys have a real World War I vibe, so I might continue that on, at least through this weapon. I probably won't do all their weapons like that, but... This guy I kind of screwed up. I guess I could paint like the inside of this red to make it look like he rolled his sleeve down. It's not a terrible plan. Gotta be as comfortable as possible if you're gonna be sniping the enemy from miles away, feet away. Okay, that's starting to look pretty good. And whatever this is again. Just his little collar symbol there, or whatever it is. Still trying to decide if I want to put some red on the shoulder pads at all. Kind of undecided on that one still. Again, we'll try to fill in that space with some Nuln oil just to darken it up so it's not as obvious that we couldn't get in there to paint it. A little too aggressive there, but that's alright. We'll fix it in the next step or two. Trying to get these cuffs entirely covered. Smooth out that edge in the corner there. There's a button in there that I'll have to come back in and paint. We'll add that in like our last detail step. Alright, so there's all three of them with their red base coated. So they're starting to match up a little bit. Like I said, the coats are going to look dirtier on these guys, but we'll clean that up with some proper highlighting, and I think they'll look fine. There is a bit of Nuln oil gloss we need to do up inside the leg there to blend that coat in. I don't know if I want to do really just trying to get in where I know I couldn't get the paint easily. That's really about it. I think we're going to do black gloves on these guys, so black's probably going to be my next color, because they all have a bunch of details that are going to benefit from black. Really right now I'm just roughing in all the base coats and stuff. So, the black that I really like right now, which I'm running out of, is this coal black. Because it's not a dark black, it's a kind of a bluish black, so it does a really good job. It's actually nice because you can get some depth to it with some Nuln Oil and some highlights. Want a bit of thinner in that. And let's see, we'll start off with the obvious stuff here. Definitely helmet. And especially at this last stage, it's got a very, very blue tone to it, but we'll change that as the process goes on. Cal Scattergood, thank you for that, host. We're starting off pretty thin here, so that's... I'm actually kind of tempted to just take almost Nuln Oil over it at this stage and see how that looks. We'll think about that here, so gonna get these straps. Let me see, where do those straps go on the front of him? Looks like they go down that front side there. Sometimes it is hard to tell. Hey, what's going on? Sorry, Calded. I actually need to reset up the sound effects. I changed to a new Squirebot. How'd your Final Fantasy stream go? I saw you were streaming just as I got on, and so I couldn't jump over and say hey. Yeah, I just need to take some time and reprogram them. I'll get there. Missed a hand too. Oh yeah, are you playing Final Fantasy Online? XIV? Oh, you're playing 2. Nice, so you're going old school. That's pretty cool. Gotta get these tiny little fingers. One through, wow, dude, you've got like the next 7 years of your life planned out. That's awesome though. I mean, you picked a good franchise if you just want to grind through a bunch of games. They've made some of the best RPGs, in my mind, ever. Oh, that's right, we got his belt there too. Let's see if I need a smaller brush. Trying to see where this strap goes down his front there. Or it disappears. Yeah, guys, coming together pretty nice. Right, you'll never run out of content. Honestly, probably smart. I definitely did not enjoy the whole variety streamer thing where you were stuck like, what game do I play? What game does everyone want to watch? Because I don't even know what I want to play right now. Alright, so little tiny bits of metal here. These will probably be kind of hard to see, but they might show through. And a nice one. Right? Yeah, like, oh, what do people want to watch? I don't know. That's how I was before I settled on painting. Because I get as much out of these streams as everybody that hangs out and watches does now, because I get to practice and paint and get better. Which I need. Because I know I am not an amazing painter and I want to be better, so practice helps. And it's something I've really needed to sit down and do a lot of painting, and so yeah, works out really well. Gonna do a metal plate on the end. Kind of want to get this guy's all of his base coats roughed in so I can put some Nuln Oil on and then start figuring out how I want to finish these guys off. Gotta oil them up. That was a little too much. Found some wet paint in there. Okay, I think that's everything silver. As a final highlight, I may actually go in and do the studs on his boot there. Now we need some brown. Finish off that gun.
What makes you an exception?
They're just kind of going for a modern rifle look here. Right on, man. Take it easy. Thanks for stopping by and saying hey. Right. There's a couple little spots up that I missed.
The sunlight begins to fade now, and I feel like I'm losing time, but I don't know how I'm here. The sunlight has turned to gray, and I feel like I'm losing love again. I don't know how I'm here. I could feel your heartbeat. I could feel somewhere you're looking down. I could feel your heartbeat. I could feel somewhere you're looking down. 'Cause it's you I'm loving, and it's you that I wanna breathe. And it's you I'm loving, and it's you that I wanna need.
Just decided I'm gonna do the whole end of this gun silver. All right, I like it. Ooh, cramping up the hand for some reason there. And I think we're going to do the same trick here, so a little bit of Lamian medium. And then a little bit of Nuln Oil.
The world we built is slipping through our fingers. We're running out of time. But you are the one I've chosen, and I won't lay still, living left behind, imprisoned by this love. I could feel your heartbeat. I could feel somewhere you're looking down. I could feel your heartbeat. I could feel somewhere you're looking down. 'Cause it's you I'm loving, and it's you that I wanna breathe. And it's you I'm loving, and it's you that I wanna need.
Yeah, I like that. That's actually working pretty well. Just need to make sure I leave enough. To do his straps. And for that, we're going to use a smaller brush. Okay. Give him some time to dry. Mm. And back with some more black. And this, I think we're going to do all of the weapon housing this color. Oh crap, I just realized a spot I didn't paint on that other guy. Always happens. Wanted to do the little breather tubes to the gas masks. Shuli, how you doing? What you up to? You know me, I'm just hanging out, painting as usual. Decided to take a long weekend, enjoy a Friday off. Went out to see some live music last night, so it seemed like a really good excuse to not go to work today. What you up to? Anything new? Anything fun? Trying to get this paint in all the little nooks and crannies here. It's not wanting to fill them all in. It's being rude. Excelling at painting the figurines. I am very moderately excelling, yes. I don't know if I would go that far, but I appreciate your kind words. I'm practicing. I'm getting better every day. That's what really matters, right? I'm a better painter today than I was yesterday. Yes, he has this As this paint dries, it gets much darker. Just doesn't seem like it's going to, and then all of a sudden, bam! And we're gonna save painting that middle part of the gun for later. It's gonna get a nice bright blue effect. Thunder and lightning. Internet connection dies on me. Oh, that's I understand. Ah, nice that you don't have to work Saturday. I love a good rainstorm. Thunder and lightning is like my favorite sort of weather, except that my dogs hate it, which is kind of a bummer. But me, I'm more of a stormy sort of guy. I like the stormy weather. Has energy. I'm the weirdo that thinks that a bright sunny day is one of the most boring things ever. I'm really just trying to take my time with this right now. Some of the coverage is being a bit funky, so just takes a few extra strokes to get through everything. I'm gonna paint these models, you gotta stroke it as long as you need to, you know? It's a really important technique. There's a couple little spots up underneath that are kind of hard to get to, and I think I can live without painting them. And let's see, what have we missed? Okay, helmet, gloves, his boots, and then his belt. There's a few spots on the gun close to the body. And you know, all that stuff's easier to paint if you don't assemble the model. I know that. I chose to assemble them anyway, because that's how I do things. Because I like putting little dudes together. Okay, so boots and gloves, belts, that's next. Boots and saddles. We're gonna go slightly smaller with this one here. Trying to figure out what's going on the front of him here so I paint the right things.
Do you remember me? I'm the girl whose heart you stole. I don't want it back, please. You can keep it. My mind's made up on who I want holding it. You're a little too close. But
Too wet.
far away. It's much too early, or it's far too late. Maybe I'm too old now, or just afraid that you'll walk away.
So one thing I'm still learning with the wet palette is keeping the moisture levels just right on these paints.
Just a glance is all it took for me to fall, but you don't even know that you were looking at me. And when you smile, smile with your eyes. Eyes that pass right over me like I'm as out of place as it feels to be. You're a little too close, but too far away. It's much too early, or it's far too late. Maybe I'm too
Sunny and Ante has its plus side. That's true.
afraid that you walk away.
Some rain, thunder, lightning.
But it's an ocean wide.
Shower in the rain. Depends on what you're wearing when you do that. Maybe they would frown, maybe they would smile a whole lot. Oh, that's right. And then this guy, I needed to go back. And I appreciate the visual. But you know, that's just how I am. Just get this little bit. Lars Sove, thank you for that follow. Looks like it's going to take a second for the stream to catch up here.
When you're gone, I don't know what to say. When you're with me,
There it is. Appreciate that.
Let's build some happy little trees. There are no limits here.
How you doing today?
you're inside my head.
I forgot his little breather hose here. That'll never do. I need a small brush to get in there. So right now I'm painting up some Death Company of Krieg guys that I'm going to be using for my Inquisition-based kill team. Bob Ross approves. Yeah, I went back to him for my paint streams. Mostly I just love that music video that comes from. And I just missed his face, but that's right. Yep. Ah, good job. These guys did not glue to these bases very well. I don't normally do this. On these guys, I went through and I glued all the sand on their bases first, and I'm regretting it greatly. Mistakes were made, but I did this like months ago and just never got around to painting these guys, so you live, you learn. That's right, we'll just let him glue back down onto his base and we'll go ahead and continue with the black on this guy. That's the second one of these guys I've knocked off the base today. And then we actually need to go in and do the black on our Grey Knights too. So we're going to be doing some black for a little bit here. And again, for those of you that just joined, I like using this as a P3's coal black. I like it better as a base black because you can give it a lot more depth. It's got this bluish color. It darkens up really nicely, so this is an example. It darkens up really nicely after you put some black wash on it. And you can highlight it, so it gives you a nice subtle like middle black instead of just making everything black, midnight black sort of thing. A little trick I picked up that I have really enjoyed. Start with my own Warhammer 40k army, so it's interesting how people paint the units. Oh nice, what 40k army are you painting? Yeah, I actually, up until a little while ago, I was painting Age of Sigmar Nighthaunt stuff, because those models are just fantastic to paint. But now the Kill Team came out, I finally had a reason to go back and start painting all my 40k stuff again. This guy, as I was experimenting with doing a light dry brush and then doing a dark wash over to give it this gray effect. Some of them came out better than the others. I think by the last one I did, I finally found something that I would probably replicate across an army, but you know, to me that's part of painting, is you gotta do a few and experiment and try a couple of techniques until you figure out what you like. Ultramarines Primaris, using them as a base for my custom Space Marine successor chapter. Ooh, that'll be fun. That's a lot of blue you're going to be painting. That'll be fun. I'm thinking of doing a Primaris kill team. Mostly just as an excuse to paint more Space Marines. But right now the kill team I'm doing is full Inquisition. So I got my Grey Knights, and then I'm doing these Inquisition themed Imperial Guardsmen. And then I've got some Death Watch guys on the way too that I'm gonna add. I screwed up when I glued this grenade into his hand, and I kind of ruined the grenade. Oops. 1,000 Suns? Yeah. 1,000 Suns are good. Especially if you can get some Zangors. That's the nicest thing with them is you can go full 1,000 Suns, so you can use your tactics and still have some cheaper units. Like the Grey Knights, unfortunately, there's only one unit, so I have to drop the Grey Knight tactics if I run them the way that I want to run them, like this, which is going to be more Imperial soup, but with a kind of a bent towards the Inquisition, you know. There is no Inquisition keyword, unfortunately, which I kind of wish there was. But, you know, you just kind of make it up and have fun with it. It's a game, right? I was originally going to do a full-fledged 40k army like this. Although I might now, just because I've already got these guys, so many of them painted. But the nice thing about Kill Team is you just have an excuse to paint a bunch of stuff that you wouldn't have maybe normally painted, like... Oh, say like some Harlequins I was thinking of doing. You know, you can't use the character, but you could actually use the model as a captain. He'd be pretty ridiculous captain, but why not? He's Primaris, they're Primaris. But yeah, I'm kind of bummed too because I can't use any of my Terminators. And I got some really nicely painted Terminators for my Grey Knights, but oh well. I assume we'll start seeing some of that stuff in some special rules or supplements later on, things like that. These plasma guns have turned out to be way more fiddly than I expected them to be. I thought they'd be one of the easier things to paint today, and they just don't like to take paint very well. Just a lot of nooks and crannies. So I'll paint the helmets because they do like to take paint well. Tau army. Oh, dude, you're hooked. Tau are pretty cool. I kind of want the challenge of painting up some Tau. I've always been a fan. I actually owned a Tau army years ago and sold it off. Yeah, Tau would be fun if you... Well, they'll kind of fit with the Space Marines as far as painting like the really clean lines and everything that you end up doing. Alright, back to this gun that doesn't wanna... Doesn't wanna, but I'm gonna win. Yeah, that's the thing about the 40k universe is there's so many cool armies. It's just painting full armies sometimes can be a ton of work. Just about have this guy done with this color. So for Steel Legion, or like these guys are actually a Death Corps of Krieg, you've got to go to the Forge World and buy them in resin. They don't stock them anymore. Yeah, these guys are all Forge World minis, unfortunately. Yeah, for me, I just thought, man, these guys would be great foot soldiers for the Inquisition, you know? Inquisitors always need some scrubs to help purginate all the Xenos. Okay, so he needs some silver now. And I wonder if my other guy is actually glued back to his base. He's getting pretty close at least. So we'll do a couple more layers on this one while we wait. Oh, actually, you know what? There's some other stuff I can do here too. So I need to add this black color to top of the grenade there that kind of lost a lot of its detail, but hopefully I can paint that detail back in. But I need to have this black on a bunch of these gray knights I've been painting, so that'll work out too. Try to pick out his Aquila here. Right. Like you would think that would be smart, but no, they don't get to shoot him. That's the thing about the Imperium, man. Yeah, you're just a normal human. Yeah, it's cool. We got so many billions of you. We don't really care if you die. Go forth for the Emperor. Right. And by protect means you'll be fine when you're dead. Life will be better when you're dead. It's okay. Go forth, puny human. Let's see, I know I want that silver.
There is a meaning buried within the sound. We brought the sound that shook the ground. There is a meaning. We brought the sound.
What else needs to be silver on this guy? I think we just about got it. Right. I mean, the high worlds you can join a Necromunda gang, I guess. Still probably gonna end up dead somewhere. That's the Grimdark for ya. Oh yeah, and the Aquila. Emperor can't protect you if you don't have one of those on your helmet. Okay, so I think I can go ahead and darken down the black on him. And so again, what I'm doing for this is it's some Nuln Oil Gloss and some Lamian Medium. And I'm just mixing that in this. I've got a little old base here that I'm using. And I'm just mixing it so that it's not as overpowering. It basically makes it so the pigment just stays in the cracks. Oh yeah, no, that's a good idea. You get some tough folks from there. So you're definitely liking the narrative style of things, from what I can tell, which is cool. If you're gonna make a custom chapter, yeah, it's definitely worth coming up with all that cool stuff. Okay, so this is just thinned down Nuln Oil Gloss that we're using right now. Trying not to overwhelm it here. This should just get all the dark into the dark spots. Need to do something with the end of that plasma gun. We get in there with a small brush or something. I don't like the coverage I got there. Oh, okay, cool. So have you been more like reading books or video games? I first started getting into the books, well, I guess the game books, a long time ago. And I've just kind of always floated in and out of the hobby over the years. Okay, some more stuff I missed with the black there, so that's cool. I'll fix that real quick. Dawn of War. Okay, yeah, those are good games. Missed some of the stock here, which really we'll call that a custom stock, because that actually came off of the gun that I stole the arm from. He heavily customized his plasma gun here. So I have a couple minor kit bashes that I had to do. Nothing too major. This one's my biggest one with the Skultari sniper rifle that I used, but you know, that looked way more like a sniper rifle than any of the rifles that came with these guys. Oh yeah, yeah. I haven't read. Well, I haven't read any of the fiction. I have audiobooked a couple of them, and mostly the Horus Heresy stuff, which is actually really good. I enjoyed what I listened to, but I just haven't had time to get back to him. I need to add more to my list. Get all of our black darkened down appropriately. This nice thin wash of Nuln oil here. Try not to drop him again here. Really trying to decide what I want to do with those shoulder pads. I'm tempted to go silver. I could do big gray panels. I could do white and red, because white and red is going to be my like company colors for these guys. I'm still on the fence there. So instead of worrying too much about that, what I'm going to move on to is something I do know I want to do, which is this rucksack tan. I want to do an actual leather-looking color for their gas masks. Kind of enhance that World War I look that they've got. And it kind of ties in with the with some of the tan that I've done for the scrolls and everything on the Grey Knights. Kind of keep these guys going with a theme. And I think the eyes, we're gonna do like a glowing blue. We'll probably do those when I do the plasma gun. Static. Oh no, Shuli! Shuli, come in, Shuli. Are you okay? Are you still there? Has the rain washed you away? We've lost Shuli. Okay. So I'm thinking I like the color scheme. I was hoping it would work pretty well on these guys, and I'm pretty happy with it. And like right now, like you could technically just say, okay, I'm done. I mean, we're pretty much at tabletop quality with these guys right now, but I want to take them at least a few steps farther. They need some highlighting on the red. Need to bring out the silver more. Just kind of pointing out the fact that if you wanted to, just little bits of highlight in there. Need some silver. Fix the bayonets! DC cool, what's up? Or is that just DeCool? There's some room for bayonet on there. I think this guy that I decided not to paint today, he's more bayonet. But yeah, these guys so look World War I. Like, I really kind of love the World War I look they've got going on. Just a little bit of wood highlighting there. Tried to paint Tyranids? Not for a lot of years. Cool, DC. Welcome to the stream. Don't worry, man. I get Sir Tiger all the time, but it's just Tigger. Someone the other day was like, well, I didn't want to confuse you with a Winnie the Pooh character. I'm like, well, wouldn't be the first time. Okay, so that is pretty cool. Tyranids, I got the Gene Stealer cult with my Kill Team box. And I think I'm going to add some Gene Stealers, so probably do some Tyranids here in a few weeks when I get around to getting through all this stuff. Okay, so this is just going to be a little bit of Agrax or shade on their face masks. This is my favorite to brown highlight with. Just get it in all the seams. DC cool, thank you for that. Appreciate the follow. You just got your Skeltari Start Collecting box, so this is actually a... Oh god, I'm so loud all of a sudden. I'm so excited! Skeltari! This is actually a Skeltari rifle that I stole for his sniper rifle. And the Skeltari arm, you almost can't tell. I added a little bit in to kind of match the Imperial Guard arm that I had, but yeah, that's totally where I stole that gun from. Because the Kill Team box comes with Gene Stealer Cult and Skeltari. And so actually I'm kind of looking forward to doing the Skeltari. They're such cool looking models. From the Death Guard to look? Nice. Oh yeah, man, feel free to lurk. Well, you may not actually be a man. It is the internet. But I just assumed your gender. Damn it. That's right, I'm a jerk like that. You're a sir? Alright, sir. Welcome, sir. Don't like the Death Guard Chaos Space Marines. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Nurgle stuff. Nurgle's just never been my thing. I mean, they're fantastic models, and if that's what you want to paint, you've got some really cool creative stuff that you can do. But painting tons and tons of them just doesn't... It's not my thing. Okay, now we're gonna switch over here and put in some of this blue-black on the Grey Knights here, because they need some too, while we let things dry on our other models, so that I can go in and finish up some highlights and stuff on them. Do. I think I actually need to get... Tzeentch, yeah, Tzeentch is my favorite as well. Gotta go full, like, magic and change and all of that cool stuff. Khorne, probably my second favorite. Just because, you know, skulls. There's really not a ton of this color on these guys, so this will go pretty fast. Really just try to get all the rubber seals between the armor. See the highlighting where I was doing some experimentation with glazing. Looking at it today, I kind of like it. Need to clean up some of the colors in some of these spots, which won't be too bad. That should be pretty quick. Oh, ouch, yeah, it's late. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out and chatting. I don't stream regularly, but I try to stream as often as I can, and I should have some time tomorrow, so hopefully I'll see you back then. Okay. Happy with that. Let's try a different level on these guys. There we go. Just trying to be careful. It's not really too bad to go in and fix up any mistakes, but the less you have to do, the better.
Everything comes and goes in stages. Let the synapse rest.
And any elbows? Nope.
Where you're hanging weightless on the precipice.
I went through, I added some lettering, some lines on the book. I painted this on my last stream. And then I did the lettering and stuff off stream because, well, I wasn't sure how it would come out. And it came out pretty good. I'm moderately happy with that. And should put these guys out front here. I still need to put some writing on his book. I saved a couple because I didn't want to do it all off stream, but I've been trying to push myself to learn some new techniques, and I feel like sometimes when I do that on stream, it's just really no fun to just watch me make a mess, but who knows? I mean, maybe that's beneficial to know that really most of the painting process is just making a mess and hoping it comes out the way you want it to. Okay, yep, this guy's got the arm that needs a little bit here. I'm really so happy I get to use my Grey Knights again. And actually these guys have a bit of an advantage in Kill Team because they're one of the only two factions with psychic abilities. And psychic abilities are a little nasty since they all go off on a 5+ on 2d6. That's a pretty high chance that you're going to hit something with it. Alright, well, liking how those guys are coming along. This is my basic kill team right now. It won't be exactly this because that's actually a little over on points, but so it's 19 points for each of them plus the heavy weapons, 5 points for these guys plus 3 points for the plasmas. I think the sniper rifle's only 1 or 2 points. So you can very quickly do the math and realize that's over points, but that's okay. So next, trying to decide how I want to approach this blue. If I want to do an undercoat and then brighten it up, or if I want to do like a really bright and then do a wash or a glaze. I think this one's pretty easy choice, this sword. I'm leaving this a little thick. Normally I'd water it down, but it's the only one thing I need to do this color, so I'm just gonna go for it. A little bit of power sword blue here. And we're gonna go for something along these lines, but I'm gonna try to do an even better job. I was experimenting with lightning effects on that guy and did something kind of interesting. I kind of liked it. Let me try. I'm gonna try this. I don't know how this is gonna come out. I may love it, I may hate it. What I'm gonna try to do on these plasma rifles here. Start with this really bright blue color. Don't mind if I slop around a little bit, because I want to give it a bit of a glowy look. So it actually means I kind of want to overdo it. Just around the edges, just a little bit. I could do an even better job if I used an airbrush, but we're not going to go that far on these guys. Just trying to be super careful with this. Not get it anywhere I don't want it. Alright, there's that stage. So we're gonna let those dry before we try to enhance them greatly. We'll see how it goes. I mean, that color of blue is pretty awesome. I'm thinking, or at least I was thinking, see if I continue to feel that way, that I want to use a similar blue for those eye slots. And I want to do these before we finish the mask, so if I overspill a little bit, we can clean it up. Should be fairly easy to see from a nice distance. Just a little too much paint on the brush there. Okay. Now we're gonna break out. This is called a glaze. This is Guilliman Blue. Let's see how glazy this really is. Ooh, actually, I think I can work with that straight out of the pot. Let's try it on the inside here. Hey, Schwanz, what's up, bud? And so, yeah, I kind of like that. I think, so what we're going to do with this glaze here is just kind of work it more towards the bottom. So it looks like it's getting brighter towards the top. Oh, that's a bummer, man. Sorry to hear that. And then, well, we want a really small brush for this next part. We just want to do a little bit of glaze. We really just want the bottom. But I got more than I wanted, so let's see if I can wick some of that out. Too much or too little is where I'm at right now. Yeah, are you liking the new update on No Man's Sky? And again, just trying to keep this glaze more towards the bottom of the glowy part. Oh, you don't know how it was before? A lot of people didn't like it, so I don't know if what that means, but that's how it was. So that's cool how the glaze is giving it that kind of gradiated effect. So we're going from darker to lighter at the top. Build a base, trade, fight. Yep. Yeah, now you can do it though with other people. Isn't it multiplayer now? Which is apparently what a lot of people expected it to be, but it wasn't in the first place. That's a bummer. Okay, I'm taking that. I can get behind that. And then we're just gonna start on the process for this. And we'll just do the bottom the opposite, even though that's not really how the light would hit, but we're just playing with a really down and dirty non-metallic metal look. Just to see what we come up with. I'm gonna use some of that glazy blue we just used on the plasma guns to play with the effect here. See what this GW Gulliman Blue glaze will do for us. Oh, unless I just break shit. Just kind of going over the darker blue, and then ultimately we just want to leave this at the spots where it fades into the darker. And it'll take a few tries of going back and forth with that. Add a little bit more to our plasma guns here, just in the very bottom. And I might do just a really light dry brush of like a bright gray at the top of that, maybe. Just to give it a little extra pop. Okay, so the heck is next? I think I need to start doing some of the highlights on these. Probably the right thing to do. And for that, gonna start off with some thin down. This is Pure Red by Army Painter. We'll go ahead and mount these guys back up. So the highlight that I'm going to end up doing is going to be starting off with this red, which Just brightening up some big chunks. And then we'll end up going back in. And I'm going to do some... Try to recreate some glaze effects that I did the other day on my Grey Knights. It was kind of fun. And hopefully this stuff's thin enough that it'll just kind of blend in. Which is all I really want. Just a little bit.
Protects my heart.
Right now this is a really subtle effect. And I just found a spot I failed to undercoat, so it's fine, just fix it with that. If that looks too bright, you can always go in and do a little bit of null oil or something on it. And it's pulling in more people to play. Yeah, it's called No Man's Sky Next, and yeah, it's probably the biggest update they've ever done. They included a lot of, I don't know, hidden content, things they didn't tell people they were adding. So there's a ton going on right now. There's a lot of buzz around that game. I don't know if it's a matter of fixing it. I think it's a matter of they had a vision. They were kind of rushed by Sony. And then the vision that they had for the game wasn't necessarily the vision that their fans had for the game. And so they've, you know, luckily they've made enough money, obviously, that they were able to go back and add some content. But that's software. You can't just... It's really hard to just give everybody everything they want day one. Although some would say that what they originally got for No Man's Sky wasn't at all what they anticipated or desired or were even sold, you know, sold by the hype. Crap, I missed a big ass strap on that guy's chest. Always happens.
So let's forget about tomorrow and live for tonight while we're free.
Alright. Here's where things are going to get a little bit funky, but first, I'm going to add in another layer of this blue. And now this blue, we want to just more and more keep to these edges. More and more to the darker parts. Okay, so the next trick here, we're gonna do some highlighting on the red we just did with yellow. And this is a bit funky, I admit. Be like, what? Are you off your rocker? Why are you highlighting with yellow? Well, let me show you. This one should work pretty well. So at first, this is gonna look a little funky. Hey, welcome back, DC. We're just highlighting up some red here. Gonna play with some glazing undertones, so I'm starting off with this yellow. And it's gonna admittedly look a little funky to start off with. But I'm trying to practice a technique I learned that if I can get it right, I think it'll turn out really good. Oh yeah, gotta be social once in a while. Family, friends, pets, they all demand it. It's just how it goes. Just trying to pick out where I feel like the light would be hitting this the most. Oh yeah. Nah, it's gonna look even better. Just wait. Just wait. Thanks, man. Yeah, they're coming along really good. I like the plasma effect. I tried something a little different. Still gonna do just a little bit of highlighting, just to make them look a little bit more bright. And then, still trying to figure out. I think I'm gonna do just red and white on the shoulder pads, and then really we're just kind of highlighting everything phase, which just takes a little while. And just like a tiny dot or two on this.
Overrated artists living off the hype. They got no longevity in the game, they got no stripes. No longer social in person, they live on social media. So social skills are not working because they live for likes. It's all a make-believe world, but they love living in a bubble. Stay scrolling and reading all the BS you type. Just for attention, a couple shares or a mention is me.
Okay, smooth all that out.
I spit that real life, say what's on my mind. I will not pander to the climate of the deaf, dumb and blind. Never dumbing down my bars, only realness in the lines. You will only hear the honesty and passion in my rhymes. I'm staying connected, cause I perfected my art form. This show I directed, calm and collected, rated, respected, stayed on course and never deflected. Flow like electric, I'm gonna set this off, no apology. I move metric, yeah man, I'm still moving imperial. My techers are moving hectic.
Now, technically, I could almost leave that the way it let the red show underneath, but as Shuli so delicately put it, we're going to go perfectionist mode here. So there's a couple things I'm going to do. Let me think about how I should do this. So I've got a red that I'm going to make super thin and glazy here. This is the red that I just did for the highlight phase. And I'm also going to do an orange. Because ultimately I want the highlight color on these instead of the yellow that we're at right now. I want that to be orange. And for that, I'm going to use Hot Orange by Game Color of Vallejo. And again, going to take our glaze medium and go pretty much half and half with it. So it's going to be half paint, half glaze medium. And I'm not going to do... Normally I would batch paint these guys and do this all together, but because I'm not 100% solid in this technique, I'm just going to perfect it on this guy. And then we'll do it on a couple other guys that we got. Okay, so first things first. Let's make sure this orange is thin enough. Yeah, that'll work. So now we're just going to do this orange just right over the top. Of where we put the yellow. And you can see that starts to blend it in really nice. A little bit more on the top there. Okay, much better. So there's a start on that, and then while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to go back to my power sword here. And you can kind of see how sometimes, for those of you that don't do a lot of miniature painting, it's not a terrible thing as long as you're careful to bounce back and forth between a couple of different things you have going on in your project. Must add something to darken those down a little bit. All right, now we're going to switch back over. Gonna give it one more. One more glaze of the orange. Now we're really heavily in that orange flavor. So now you can start to see how that's blending up really nice. I feel like it could brighten the stream just slightly, but I think you're getting an idea of the effect there. Oh, not ready to take him off yet. Just kind of giving him a second to dry, and now what I'm going to do with this glazy red is start glazing in away from the highlights, so more towards the middle. Just a little bit of an overlap onto the stuff we did in orange. This is probably a little more wet than I should let it be. Yeah, I think that's a good spot to leave him. I'm gonna fix this strap I forgot real quick. And just let him dry. I think that's gonna look pretty good. Okay. Now I just have to make the gray and the black look as good as the red does, and I'll be pretty happy with this guy. And I think with just the right amount of highlighting on him, I can clean up all of that I did with the dry brush. Get the helmet just right. I think it'll look pretty good. I think I'm going to be pretty happy with the way these guys come out. And so now that I've done all that, and I've proven out that I'm gonna like the way this technique works, I will now batch paint these last two guys, which it's not really a very large batch size, but we'll go ahead and do them both at the same time. Need just a little bit more pigment in this yellow here. Just kind of laying in this yellow wherever I feel like the highlights would look best. It's not really a matter of like, oh, the light would touch that. I'm like, yeah, well, that looks the best. Very scientific here. Okay. Happy with that stage. Not too much in there. Hey, RS Blender, how you doing? Just painting away at some Deathcore Krieg models for my kill team. For the new 40k kill team rules that just came out. Playing with some effects I've been learning to do some better highlighting. How's your day going? Right now I'm just putting this very bright yellow in over this red. And we're going to use that as an undertone for the glaze we're going to put over the top of it. So right now it's pretty exaggerated, which is kind of what we want. Nice. Yeah, I decided not to work today. It was a good decision. I'm glad I made it. Right, so it's going to dry very yellow, so what we're going to do next, and actually we're ready to do that. So we're going to take this orange glaze that I made, and this is a 1-to-1 orange paint and glaze medium by Vallejo. And we're going to use this underneath, so the yellow is going to push through that orange, and this is going to give us a really nice orange tint on this. We're going to go back and forth with this and some red glaze and try to smooth this out. Kind of feather this in to the red that's already there. I prefer to highlight reds with orange. Back in the day I tried pinks and I didn't really like them, so I settled on orange. But the way I was doing it previously always just felt a little abrupt to me, so trying some new glazing techniques that I learned. Okay, so now that this guy's dry from the last layer, I'll add a little bit more. So you can see there already that yellow kind of smooths in much nicer. This guy's still drying. We did kind of a similar glaze on the plasma gun there to give it kind of a darker color at the bottom. That glaze I need to work with a little bit more. But I think if I do a dry brush right over the top of that properly, it'll actually look really good. And so while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to go back to this blue on this power sword really quick. And that one we're just working into the dark spots. So yeah, that's actually a really good question. So with the wash usually is a little more pigment heavy. So the idea of a wash, a lot of times, like especially these glosses, it'll even have a gloss medium to break the surface tension, and a wash is really there to kind of go into the cracks of a model, like so. You can see a little bit like in there, in the gold, where the wash will stay away from the surface and it'll give you a nice, like, crisp background. A glaze, on the other hand, it's very pigment light. There's usually a lot more medium or water depending on how you want to approach it. In this case, I used a glaze medium, and it is designed really to just kind of tint over the top of a color. So like in this case, it's just changing the tint, which helps to blend it into the background colors and gives it more of a muted transition and not such a hard line. I mean, you don't have to go through all this. It's really just something I'm kind of doing because I'm playing with it and experimenting with it. You can do like a, your standard hardline highlighting, and it's just fine. This is just one that I saw on YouTube, and I was like, hey, I bet I could learn how to do that, and might even be able to do it pretty well, so. Sure, and that's probably not the best. I'm sure there's a better explanation for it, but that's my best understanding. There's a hole in your bottom lip? Keep spilling your drink all over yourself, or what? And then the final that I'm going to do here, that's just going to be pure bright red. And we're going to try to stay away from the absolute outside orange. Probably a little bit more water on that than I want. Missed a little spot there. Okay, I like that. I think I'm pretty happy with how that's coming out. This one probably needs a little bit red too, if I remember. I don't think I've done him yet. The problem with doing models like this is you go back and forth so many times you start forgetting. This, I'm mostly concentrating on the very inside, just to get the red back on the cloth as good as possible. Just a little bit of overlap. With the orange that I did. Okay. So that's those guys up to that point. Now I have to decide what's next. Might do the silver on them next. Need to do the faces, need to do silver, need to do a bunch of gray. But, I mean, these guys are easily tabletop quality now. You can put them on the table, be happy with what you put on the table, but Why be happy when you can do more? Because especially now that that red looks so good, got to get the rest of them looking that good. I think what we're going to do next is go for some stone golem and start working on the highlights on the black. And that's just going to be Stone Golem by Army Painter. It's a nice bright gray color. Bright gray works for highlighting all kinds of things. I'll usually save white for very special occasions. Trying to decide if we want to just go add a drop of glaze to that. I don't think so. I think instead we're going to do just a little bit thinner. And this will be multi-purpose. This will work for doing trench coats.
Tonight, I want to talk to you about violence in our cities. It's been the brutality of a mob. I will use whatever force is necessary to restore.
And really the point here is just to smooth out any of this stuff that I didn't like. How it came up from when we dry brushed it. Just really working on smoothing out from the dry brush phase.
A state of chaos and disorder is upon us. Will you take up arms? Will you help us make our last stand? The time is now. Let us be heard as we sing our way into battle.
A little bit of edge highlight in case I just decide to leave these gray like they are now.
It's time to light up the sky with fire. Tonight, I want to talk to you about violence in our cities. It's been the brutality of a mob. I will use whatever force is necessary to restore order.
Little buttons. Just a little bit on that knee. Give the fabric a little illusion of stretch there.
The machine has fallen. All stations are now disabled. System failure. I repeat. System failure. System failure.
And I'm finding myself thinking, don't want to use this, but I'm gonna try just a little bit just to convince myself that I'm right or wrong here, because I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a little bit brighter than I want. I think I'm gonna go with some wolf gray instead. That definitely helps clean up his jacket, though. Puts it more along the lines of what I originally envisioned. And now it definitely looks closer to what you would expect to go along with the way I did the red. It's a lot smoother, a lot more blended. Actually, here's a thought. Can we do a bit of a dry brush with this along the very top? I need a new paper towel. This one has seen better days. Let's see if I can do just a little bit of dry brush on the top there. Yeah, this brush just sucks. I'm seriously tempted to throw it away. I need a smaller dry brush, is what I really need. That one just has reached the point of where it doesn't do what I want it to do anymore, and that's okay. It's not actually the brush's fault. It's mine for trusting it. Alright, let's see. Instead, let's try this. Just really trying to get the white on the ridges near the top. Kind of complete that glowy illusion that I started. And like right in the middle, I don't care if we lose some of the definition. And since I have this out, I'm just going to do the same thing with this. Okay, I like that. And where's my sword guy? Do a little bit of this. Especially just along that edge. That's like as basic as you can get for a non-metal metallic there, which is fine. Alright, I like how the plasma coil came out on the plasma rifles. Those look good. Happy with those. Okay, back to our highlighting, already in progress. Try to get these last two guys done with this gray highlight here. This was one of the first ones I did with the highlight and shading technique, and it's the one that I probably like the least. But sometimes you just don't know until you give it a try.
Checklist. Got one more for the set list. Walk in the spot and I drop one track. Know who the best is. Walk in the rave like checklist. Got one more for the set list.
Tell me what's going down. I can't stand it when you're so
Try to get to this little corner here.
Tell me what's going down. I can't stand it when you're so shut down. Tell me what's
Walk in the rave like checklist. Got one more for the set list. Walk in the spot and I drop one track. Know who the best is.
Tell me what's going.
Gotta get the belt loops.
Tell me what's going
Gotta have pockets in your trench coat so you can keep your shotgun dry.
Walking the rave like check this. Got one more for the set list. Walking the spot and I drop one track. Know who the best, know who the best is. Walking the rave like check this. Got one more for the set list.
Let's add some definition up there. Little opulette. I probably said that entirely wrong.
Going down. Tell me what's going down. I can't stand it when you're so shut down.
Just try to clean this up a little bit. Get it all nice and smooth looking. Oh. 3.5 hours of painting is taking it out a toll on my back, but I'm really happy with how these guys are coming out. They're at a good phase. Obviously, gonna need some more highlighting and stuff, but starting to be super happy with them. This guy and his grenade. See if I can even pick out any of these details.
Look at your mind and ask yourself what keeps you trapped inside. Look at the lies that follow you when you run and hide. Look at the sky. The sun won't ask. The sun won't ask the world if it can rise.
I lost some of the silver detail. We'll add that back in later. Smooth out some of the highlights on his butt. Trying to get rid of the mistake I made here with the red. Going a little big on those highlights, but it'll look good. Yeah, minor mishap. Brush decided to have a couple wild hairs there. What are we missing? Buttons. A little bit in there. Smooth out these arm spots a little bit more, especially where the model's not as smooth as I thought it was. Sometimes it's so hard to tell. You think you did a good job cleaning these guys up, and then you paint them and realize you actually did a terrible job of it. Just kind of filled in that dark spot there with some of that to give it kind of looks, make it look a little dirty, maybe torn. Add a little bit more there to get that smooth. Alright, and I think I'm gonna call that good for right now. These guys are coming out way better than I had hoped. A couple of fun new techniques, I think, is really making them come along. Got our cool sniper dude here. Got a couple plasma gunners. This guy is tossing a frag grenade. Actually, let me throw a little bit Null oil gloss on that, I think, is what that grenade needs. See if I'm right. Just smooth that out a bit. So yeah, I think these are ready to take down to the game store tonight. Throw them on a table. And then tomorrow, hopefully, get a chance to finish them up. So yeah. Thanks everybody for hanging out. It was a great time hanging out with everybody. Been about 3.5 hours of painting and streaming now. So I have to admit, my hand hurts. So I'm gonna clean some stuff up. Got some brushes to clean up and stuff like that, and listen to some tunes for a couple minutes. I hope everybody that's watching is having a good time and learning something and seeing that, you know, you don't have to be perfect at this. You just have to give it a try and have fun with it. It's really all there is to painting. Sometimes things are going to look kind of crappy at first, and hopefully you can turn that around and end up with something that you like. Oh, let's see, brush cleaner, that's what I need. And some clean water, that would also help. Put some of my paints away here real quick because I made a mess. Okay. Just clean up the brushes and then we'll be out of here. Has anybody got any fun things they're going to do this weekend? Anything exciting? Save everything cleaned and conditioned with a nice point, so it's good, ready to go next time I sit down and do some painting. Did I drop a brush? I think I did. Nope, it's just hiding from me right there. I think I used almost every freaking brush I got. Alright, that's it. I'm out of here, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you guys next time.